You're up, sir.
Hey, hey, Patty. What did you see from the team in terms of aggression and that competitive mentality? Excuse me, and especially from Keldon tonight as he was attacking.
Yeah, massive. I think for Keldon, what he does well is stays aggressive throughout the course of the game on both ends of the floor as well. But his ability to be able to get into the paint, take contact, take hits, and have the abilities to still finish. So that's huge for us, especially when we have dry positions is huge. But for us to be competitive throughout, a full 48 minutes against a very good Denver team was very satisfying. For us to know that we can, string solid minutes together of good solid defense and then transfer that onto the other end as well. So it's one of those things that we got to remember this feeling of how to play against solid opponents, and try and string games together like that.
Pop said, "No defense, no wins." You've mentioned that before. Did you feel that the defense tightened up, especially in that fourth quarter? You guys only gave up 22.
Yeah, definitely. I think from a team defensive standpoint, was a highlight for us tonight. Just in terms of everyone, trusting the game plan, trusting the process in that sense, and sticking with it, even though they make tough shots, or kind of awkward plays at time that leads to a timely bucket. But for us to continue trusting the game plan, trusting our team defense concepts, and staying with it. It was one of those nights where we had to scramble, we had to rotate, we had to find guys at certain times. We had to make plays, we had to dig, and get them out of their comfort zone. And I think we've done a good job of that for the majority of the game. But in particular, at times when we needed to get stops or deflections, we got them, and it led to some easy buckets as well.
Thanks, Tom. Let's go to Mark Medita, USA Today.
Hey, Patty, a big picture question here. What's jumped out to you with what Pop's approach has been with managing the group, knowing there's, a handful of veterans and also young guys?
Yeah, it's obviously different to what I think he's used to, we're all used to. And when I say we are, I guess I mean the organization, but knowing, just how many young guys and new people that we have, as well as the vets too. It's, I think we're all adjusting to be able to figure out how to move forward, and how to succeed in doing so. So it's definitely been an adjustment. So for Pop, I think, and how everyone else has taken it as well has been, day by day and game by game, I guess. But, I guess the biggest thing for Pop is his patience that he's had, for us to be professionals, to be able to learn on the fly, which has been the hardest thing, especially with, a season like we're having at the moment with how, the tightened schedule, the games, not much practices and all that. It's time that's really for us. We've got to lock down in film sessions, in team meetings for us to get these things down. So I think his patience has been, a key thing for us to, get, and we're doing it. That's part of the NBA is us being professional and being able to learn on the fly. And we've got guys that have been able to do that.
Thanks, Mark. Let's go to Jeff McDonald, Express News.
Patty, going back to the defense for a second, I know you guys have talked for the last couple of years about needing to improve that, but this is the first year it seems to actually be taking hold. I think you guys are back in the top 10 in that category. What's been the difference, do you think, defensively this year between the last couple?
Oh, I think you can't write off the amount of work that we've done in the past seasons, so it's not like we flipped the switch or anything like that. But I think, we had to go through those seasons where we had to figure it out. We weren't that good on the defensive end. So I think it's credit to going through that process. And now, this is the result of, for us, understanding that, we need to be a good defensive team if we want to win and if we want to get anywhere. So I think, You can't write off all the work that we've done in the past seasons, but, it's practice, it's reps, it's being able to understand and trust the game plan and trust the process. But I think for the most part, we have been a lot more connected defensively, all 5 guys on the floor and even guys that come into the game more than we ever had before. And that's a real positive thing that we gotta continue.
Is there a personnel aspect to it too? Because it also seems like you guys have spent the last couple of years kind of stockpiling these long, rangy, switchy kind of wing players to kind of, make this thing work.
Yeah, it's that. And it's also, being able to feed off different plays too. And I don't necessarily mean just deflections or steals. I think we all feel when we have a good defensive possession and we feed off, we've got players that can feed off that kind of energy and look forward to stringing another couple of stops together as well. So, it could be to answer your question, but, I just think that the group, has a good focus on the defensive end. And like I said, you got to give credit to the work that we've put in to get to this point now where we get it. The guys get it, what we need to do on that end of the floor.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Jeff. We'll wrap it up with Tom Worsborn from the Express News. Tom. Hello. All right, Patty, we're going to let you off the hook. I can't hear Tom, so you have a good night. Thank you, sir.
Have a fail, Tom.
Thanks, Patty.
Let's try. Is he still there?
Well, all right.
Still, man.
Patty. Yeah, Patty, along those lines, DeJounte, you guys starting to look at him as a defensive closer, 2 straight games with big steals in crunch time.
Yeah, I mean, that has been his constant throughout his time here in San Antonio and in the NBA. His ability to be able to junk things up on the defensive end with his length and his athletic ability, and for that to lead to easy buckets down the other end. And obviously you've seen in the last couple of games, timely ones. But there's a sense of him and other guys too, Keldon and Lonnie, who take that responsibility of being able to set the tone on the defensive end. And like I was referring to before, taking pride in that and knowing that, the rest of the team feeds off that energy. So, yeah.
You ever played with a guy who screams as much and as loud as Keldon?
Yeah, not really, but I had to fire him up one time after a timeout after he scored because I was surprised that he didn't make a noise. But we've got some very loud people on this team. Just loves to make noise for no particular reason, but it's unique and it's I guess it's getting a part of our identity as a group, which you got to love.
Thanks, Patty.
No worries.
Thanks, Patty.
Patty, thank you.
You're welcome, Jordan.